Hey, Big C here with the business of podcasting. Really, it's all about creating content. I'm here just to kind of get through the myths of podcasting, to break down the barriers that maybe keep you from podcasting, and to talk about what I do and how I do it. And I'm going to try to start doing a few videos. I'm hoping I'm doing something different. I got my high def cam on, and I've got my blue microphone that I've talked about a bunch in these episodes. Hopefully, the audio and video will sync up. I had an issue before using this camera and using my my studio mic right there, using that one, and the audio wasn't syncing up. And I was thinking it was probably because of a speed issue between my microphone going to tube warmer, going to the soundboard, going out to the PC, whereas the camera's just going through USB, two different speeds. I'm thinking might have what caused the problem. And I'm doing some things over here. Sorry, so I know I'm not quite looking like I'm supposed to. Anyway, what I'd like to try to do, hopefully, is get a good quality video and a good quality sound, and that's what we're going for. So I decided to do a quick video to test it out, and to say, I just put up show number 217. Some interesting things happened with the Bear Crawling Nation Live this week that you might be interested in. And it deals with people who contribute to the show and listeners and the uncontrollability and predictability of what happens, and how you as a brand and as a show can be held responsible for even if it's just in the minds of the listener, you can be held responsible for things that you really had nothing to do with. And the basic situation is a listener without prior knowledge of the show. We broadcast on the Bear Crawling Nation Live, broadcast on stickam.com/bear crawling every Thursday night, 9:30. Why not plug myself? Always promote yourself. Always talk about where you can find what you do. Just don't do it in an asshole way. And I hope I'm not doing it in an asshole way. I hope I am doing it in a way that you go, okay, I get it. Anyway, we go to Stickam because it has a great chat room. That's easy to see. There's a decent little video for live, which is me. I'm the live video. But then it has a row of 6 or 8 user videos, live videos, that listeners, viewers, whatever you want to call them, can pop up and do their own video. And a participant did that, and she carried on some behavior that I felt was okay, that some of my coworkers, cohorts, whatever, podcasters, loved, and some people didn't. And that's the thing that will happen. And we've always branched the show. I have always branched my show as it's a place for adults to make choices. We use adult language. I will cuss from time to time, as of course you've heard here on the show, on the videos. I will talk about adult oriented topics. I drink beer from time to time. I'll drink scotch on the show from time to time. We talk about how I'm not a smoker. I smoke cigars, but that's occasional, rare, whatever. I used to, hoo ha, whatever. But we've got podcast people who smoke cigarettes, and they fully believe in their rights to smoke, and we support that. We support the fact that you can make a choice. We have people who do drugs that we support your choice. Our official stance is it's your choice. It doesn't affect us. We're kind of libertarian that way, I guess you would say, if you wanted to line up with political values. If it doesn't hurt me, what do I care? Is the official stance of the show. I don't want to get into deep politics or anything. And I gotta look at my record time. Okay. So when this listener got on and did what she did, our female, you call her the executive assistant. She runs kind of the back end of the Bear Calling Nation. She does a lot of promotion for me. She handles the chat room. Rock Girl. You can follow her at Rock Girl 2, I believe it is. It's facebook.com/Rock Girl. And she runs the fan page for me. And she handles the chat room, puts up links, and is really, really a cool person to work with, and very helpful in what she does. And I respect her female opinion, and I respect that she's honest with me. And at the end of it all, at the end of 2 hours, and the entire incident was 4 minutes long, give or take. And at the end of 2 hours, I asked her about it, how she felt as a viewer, how she felt as a female. She didn't have any problems. Of course, the guys loved it. And nobody in the chat room seemed to really voice a negative opinion. That's another thing about podcasting, about doing things live. If somebody doesn't like something, they might just walk away. They might just turn you off. They might not. And the thing, too, is it was live. On the podcast, on the recording, you had no idea what was going on. The show that I just put out today, show number 217, it's on the bearclawnnation.com. You'll hear Steve kind of stumble up, and you'll hear him say, you talk for a minute, and we make jokes. But if you go back and listen to a random selection of 20 shows, you're going to get that. You're going to get sexual jokes that we make. You're going to get different things that go on. And my point is not the incident. My point is how a trusted contributor to the show reacted, and friends and listeners, valued people. They were uncomfortable, they were unhappy, and they decided not to participate with this anymore. And I respect that. I respect that it's about your choice and about your values. And I respected that at this time. And here's what I want to really stress here for you, the podcast producer. And if you're just viewing this for fun, I'm glad you're watching this. And if you're one of the people who participated, understand that I'm glad you stood for what you did. But as a podcast, as the executive producer of the Bear Calling Nation, this incident that was out of my control and unplanned, and I didn't know it was coming, I had to see, number one, where I personally stood on it, for my personal morals, values, whatever you want to say, where I stood on the incident. I had to then, secondly, as a producer, as a businessman, as knowing that I deal with the public and knowing that I want to reach an audience with my show and what I do, I had to figure out where I stood there as well. And then as a friend, as a person, there's different aspects to think about. So my decision at this time, my decision was, well, number one, I respect that you said that it bothers you and that you don't want to be associated with that. I respect that, and this is not the forum for me to even ask questions and speak to you directly. We've emailed, we've dealt with it, we know where we stand, and that's fine. And I respect that, and I was honest about that. But I also respect the fact that I found nothing wrong with what happened, that I actually kind of appreciated what happened, that my brand has been built around, dignified, aggressive. Not dignified. What the hell did I think of the other day? I'm aggressive. I'm an aggressive person. I'm loud. I speak my mind. I use foul language. I talk about naked women. I talk about gays, not in a bad way. I talk about things that make people uncomfortable, I guess is what I'm saying. I call bullshit on religion, and I'm a man of faith, just to be clear. I call bullshit on politics, and I'm not a man of politics. But I'm very aggressive. My poster, actually you can see part of it behind me, the bear. The other half of that poster is my face going, oh! My whole brand is, I just live life to the fullest, and I want you to have your freedom to do that. And if part of your freedom to do that and say, we can't be a part of that anymore, that really steps across the line for us. That's perfect. Because not that I want to offend you, not that I want you to go away, but it's that we built a world, a nation, a bear calling nation, where you feel comfortable to a certain level and you feel free to make the choice to say we can't be associated with that, but that we're still friends. And as a podcast producer, as somebody that makes podcasts for you out there to make your own podcast, or that you're thinking about making your podcast, a long, hard lesson I had to learn coming up, and some of the people involved taught me this lesson as I came through, is that you can't please everybody all the time, and you're going to kill yourself if you try. You have to figure out what's true to you. You have to figure out what works for you and stick with it. And I really did think long and hard about what happened, and going forth, I know what I'm going to do. It's not important here, but I found no problems with it as a Bear Con Nation. And while I regret that it makes people uncomfortable, we know what we are. We appreciate each other, and we do. So I'm hoping this video works, and I wanted to talk about how you'll get listeners. And the thing is, I heard somebody give advice. I want to talk about this one last thing. I'll get out of here. I heard this piece of advice from somebody in 2007 talking about doing podcasting. He was quitting his 20-year radio career, and he's only going to do Okay, when you stand up on a microphone at any kind of panel, at any kind of thing, if you get on YouTube like I am right now, and you talk about how you've done this and you've done that, before you say anything else, that's what I got for you. Because I don't need to know that you did 20 years in radio. I don't need to know that you spent 5 minutes explaining your company's product and selling it to me before you fucking actually tell me information that I want to know. Yeah, I don't like that. So, and I hope I don't come off that way. I hope I'm not being a hypocrite. If you want to let me know, bearcrawlingnation@gmail.com, if I'm being hypocritical, I try to tell you where to find myself, and I try to pepper it out. But also, first off, I just try to give you the passion and the information. Anyway. The point is, he got on. It's like, be audacious, say things that are even over the top for you. You're not trying to be a peacemaker. In radio, there is no middle ground. You got to say things over the top to get people to disagree with you. I say bullshit. I say be who you are, and I say things I know will offend some people. But I don't do it to be audacious. I don't do it to offend, to divide. I say things that I think are funny. It makes people laugh. I say things that I believe, that I know if you're on the opposite side, you're not going to argue with me. You're going to write me off as a lost cause. With politics, with religion especially, you're not going to call in and argue your point for the most part. You're going to bypass me. I talk to the middle. I talk to the people who are left out. I am bringing people together. I'm not trying to make peace. I don't wallow, and I don't apologize. When I'm wrong, like I've been honest and open about my life and my marriage and the roughness that I put into it and the mistakes I've made. And I'm honest about those mistakes because I want others to learn from my mistakes so maybe they won't make them. And I will say I'm sorry to my wife. And I will say I've had a listener. And it's another incident happened with a joke. Kind of a, well, it wasn't kind of, it was a racial slur or stereotype, if you will, but it's a negative stereotype. And being of that, it wasn't race, it was, anyway, it was a negative effect. And being that he was affected by it, and he dealt with closed-minded people all the time, he actually took the time to write me to tell me that he was offended and that he didn't appreciate and why. And I answered back. It's like, well, that's not how it was intended, and it didn't come out of my mouth again. The point of, I'm the show host. Everything that happens in my show is on me, whether I had anything to do with it or not. It's on me. Now there are some steps you can take, but you got to ask yourself, do you really want to? Now in this case, I didn't hear the negativity that he heard. Once he pointed it out, I go, oh, I get it. And later on, things happened, and I made steps to say, wait, come on. If we're going to make jokes, let's make jokes about everybody. But if all you're doing is making jokes about one set of people, then it really becomes negative. If you don't make fun of yourself first, you're going to come off bad. I'm talking too much. My point is, I was able to patch things up with him by being honest and not apologizing. I didn't say, well, I'm sorry that happened. It'll never happen again. Oh, my God, we'll make sure we're clean and what. No. Don't fucking apologize. You put your video out, you put your audio out, and unless you're wrong, unless you come back and you're regretful and you go, I really am sorry I said that, I was ignorant, I was wrong, I will change my ways. That's one thing. That is changing and making amends. But don't go, well, I'm sorry, but da da da. No, you don't apologize. You make your statement if you believe it. And there will be people who will be offended, and you can't please everybody. That's what I'm saying is I didn't apologize to him for the statement. I didn't apologize to my beloved contributors. And I call them beloved contributors because they really are. I didn't apologize to them for the situation. What I did say was, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Because I am. I regret that you're leaving. I regret that as a listener, we hit a negative spot. But as I said to both of them, I can't guarantee it won't happen again. It could easily happen again because that is the world I built. It's the world people feel like they're free. Anyway, I think you get the point. I hope this video works. I hope I get the high quality video and the high quality audio, and then I'll make it faster. But I wanted to make a short video about how I released a new show, and you should check it out. But you go check it out. You might pick up on what happened, but I doubt it. So anyway, check me out, bearcrawlingnation.com. Check out all our wonderful shows. We got a new website in development. And that'll probably come 6 months from now, but we're working on it. Till then, check out Wicked Jester Clothing, Hardcore. That's who they made this. Is also, I would show you the back, but I'm out of time. And of course, TortugaTwins.com. That's his set. I love the TortugaTwins.com and Morning World Video. And check them out. All good friends of mine. All part of, well, the twins aren't part of Bear Crawl Nation. Neither is Wicked Jester. WickedJester.com. And Tortuga Twins are good, cool people, friends of mine. Our Morning World, part of the Bear Crawling Nation. Check him out. Let me find the stop button.